Welcome, visitors. I'm Eddie, and welcome to the Shack. Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2 is finally out, and I'm going to share my first impression of it, because why not? Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it mid? Which we wouldn't want after Chapter 5 Season 1 was kind of mid. Let's start with the new biomes. Two new biomes have been added in the new season, which is pretty cool. We have one in the southeast and one in the west. Let's start with the one in the southeast first. We have Olympus, which is basically any grassland but orange with Greek statues and Greek building and Greek mythology all around. Because it's Olympus, the gods and all those stuff. It doesn't bring anything new to the table, it's just a new kind of change of pace from the green, which is pretty cool and nice to see for the eye. On the west, though, we have the underworld, which is very, very unique. It's dark, it's grimy, it's dead looking with Greek statues of stuff looking like the Grim Reaper and dead soldiers. We also have special water in this place, which when going inside of it, you get a new ability, the Underworld Dash, which basically is a teleportation mechanic that when you jump, you can go forward, backwards, left, right, up, down. It's a nice new mechanic for transportation, and personally, that just makes this biome way more fun than Olympus. But Olympus is also very fun to look at. It's a nice change of pace from the green, as I say. Like last season, we've been saying only green and white for the entire season. It's nice to see a change of pace, even if it's just color. Now, we've also got new POIs added to the stick. We have, first, restored reels. Rune reels, after the arrival of the gods, has been restored. Finally, we can see rune reels in its former glory. And it's a pretty cool POI. The only problem is it's kinda not very worth it to go there. Before there were always NPCs that you can go talk to. Now there's nothing. But it's still in the middle of the map, so it's pretty a good spot to start, because you're never gonna be quick to move because of the storm. In Olympus, the biome, we've got two POIs. First, AZL site has been taken out and replaced with Mount Olympus, which is the home of Zeus, god of thunder, or lightning, or god of gods. I don't really know much about Greek mythology. All I know is that is about the movie Hercules. That's all I know. So Mount Olympus is a pretty good POI. It's huge. It has a lot of stuff. It has those new Greek chests that give you either Zeus's thunderbolt or Icarus wings, which are new weapons I'll be talking about later. And we can also go fight Zeus, which is pretty fun. And also there's this giant statue in the background and this holy light that's coming from the sky, which is very nice. Now more to the south, we've got Baldur's Battleground, which is very far from everything, so you're not really gonna drop there except for fighting Ares, which is the god of war, which is also a boss there. It's more like rune reels in terms it's a Greek building pretty much destroyed by war. So it's a pretty cool spot and it looks cool, but it's so far from everything that if you don't drop there to fight Ares and get the medallion, it's kinda not worth it. Still a good looking POI though. Now, for the underworld part of the map, we've got two other POIs. We've got Green Gate, which is basically the entrance to the underworld. There you can fight Cerberus, which is cool to fight, and it's kind of just a weaker version of the underworld, which is the other POI. It's cool, I guess, but not really memorable. I prefer the underworld, which, by the way, is the other POI. You can drop there, go fight good old 80s. It's very, very weirdly made. It's got multiple stages of it. There's the lower levels, then there's the first level, then there's the second level, and then there's even a third one before the roof, which is pretty fun to go through. It's also got a lot of chests, and a secret door that you cannot open that I'm pretty sure has Midas behind it. But we're not gonna talk about the story really much. Now, for the new guns. We got the Warforged AR, which is the new AR. It's got more recoil than the only other AR in the game right now, the Nemesis AR, but it hits stronger, which can be very useful in combat. And also you can just pick up the attachment and give it to it. It's probably gonna help a lot. Another gun, we've got the Harbinger SMG, which it's really precisely, but more you shoot it, it's gonna be less precise and has more recoil. So shooting in its spurts, in somewhat shot here and there, releasing the trigger most of the time and then clicking back on it, might be the best option. We also got the Gatekeeper shotgun, which is awesome. It's got 3 shots and reloads all of them in once. And you might think, well, 3 shots is not that much. It gotta be kind of bad. 3 shots is enough to kill anyone. Even if he has max shield, max health, and max bonus shield in no builds, it's gonna kill. It's that good. And it's actually quite balanced, unlike the Frenzy shotgun, which is completely cracked and is still in the game. Finally, we also got the final normal gun, the Huntress DMR, and I'm gonna be honest, not my thing. It's like a sniper, but less a sniper and a little bit more AR into it. It's good if you can hit your shot, but because I am a garbage aimer, this is not my gun. I can understand if you like it, but it's just kind of meh for me, at least. Now we've got also 2 other weapons. They took out the grapple blade and the ballistic shield, which thank god they took out the ballistic shield, I hated that thing from previous season, and replaced them with 2 new weapons, Icarus's Wings and Zeus's Thunderbolt. Icarus's Wings is basically a new transportation mode. You start flying and you can just, well, fly with wings, which is pretty cool. And you can also ground pound, which does a lot of damage. Quite note here, little note. If you get shot while flying, you're gonna crash down. And if you run out of fuel, because there's a limited usage to them, you're gonna slowly fall to the ground and not just literally just fall to the ground and splatter on the floor and die, which is a quite cool thing. Finally, we also have the Zeus's Thunderbolt, which is the mythic that you can find everywhere. It's strong, it's good, but it's a more balanced version of the Call Me Your Mama and the Deku Scrub Smash. In that case, it takes time to charge the last and it stronger bolt, but the 2 first ones are pretty strong. Also, it leaves you extremely vulnerable, so it's not an easy win button, but it's a strong weapon you can still own. So it's a good idea to have them, but you're probably not needing of them. You don't need them to win. You can win without them, and even with them, you might lose. Just little note too. Zeus's Thunderbolt doesn't recharge. You have 3 uses to them, and once you use them 3 times, it's gone. So you're gonna have to find another one. Finally, let's talk about the bosses. We've got 4 bosses this season. Let's start with Zeus, the main one, the main attraction. Zeus is at Mount Olympus. When killing him, you get Zeus's Mythic DMR, which is it's a DMR, I don't actually care. And the medallion is quite special too. Medallion this season don't heal your shield anymore. They actually give you special abilities. Zeus's gives you speed. You sprint faster and jump higher when sprinting. But it doesn't save you from fall damage, which might kinda stinks. But Zeus is a fun fight. He also is the only one that doesn't use minions to fight you. He just goes for you 3 times, which is kind of cool and badass. Now the next one is also in the Olympus, and it's at Brawler's Battleground. Ares. He first sends you minions that you gotta kill, then another wave of minions, but nothing changes, and then you finally face Ares. When killing him, you get the new Warforged AR, but Mythic this time, and the medallion gives you new upgraded damage. All your weapons do more damage, but only the range combat. So your pickaxe or your wings don't do more damage. Which kind of make a way to get it balanced and not just make everything OP, but it's still pretty strong. Grimgate gives you a fight against Cerberus, which actually is pretty unique. All his minions are wolves, which is, well, they can't attack at distance, so it's pretty easy and easier than the other ones. And once you fight and finally kill Cerberus, you get the new Gatekeeper shotgun, Mythic, and a medallion that gives you the Underworld Dash, regenerate a little bit out of nowhere with a timestamp. It's kind of cool. It gives you more transportation, but it's not the most useful one, and it's not really worth getting you pinned on the map. Finally, at the Underworld, we've got Hades, which is the most intricate battle. You fight his minions first, then another wave of minions, but this time some of them have shield, and finally you fight Hades. I'm pretty sure they're gonna add it, but we've got the Hades whips, or stuff, the Hades mythic, that's not yet in the game, but once it's gonna be added, it's gonna be like Zeus' Thunderbolt. You're gonna be able to get it from killing him, but it's also gonna be in chests everywhere on the map. It's also gonna give you the Harbinger SMG mythic and the Siphon medallion, which basically you kill someone, you heal up, which is gonna be extremely OP. But they also made it a little bit more balanced by pinning you on the map, which is kind of cool. Finally, my first impression on it, is it good, bad, or mid? I'm gonna say pretty good first impression, which I really hope that they keep that momentum, because it's kind of sad, and I don't really want them to kind of fail like Chapter 5 Season 1 did. It started so strong and then just fell out of the sky. I guess it flew too close to the sun and it ran out of fuel. But hey, I was Eddie, and thanks for visiting the shack. See you next time.